Mm-hmm. Well, welcome. Someone dock my pay for being late. I am precisely on time. It is exactly 5 o'clock on my watch. So here we go. Welcome to the Monday Night Live stream. As always, disclaimer, I'm not a veterinarian. Any advice I give is strictly anecdotal, and you should do your own research if you're asking about diseases. I'm not a veterinarian, but I've been around the block a time or two, so I might be able to help out. But definitely do your own research. Also, since Zen Ginger's not here, there was no one to remind me to link Dan's fish. So I'm going to do that live again because I'm really good at what I do. Well, we got to give a few minutes for people to join in anyways, right? Give us something to do. Give me something to do while we wait. Okay. Some pretty rad fish over here, so be sure to get them while you can. Gucci. Uh-oh, does that mean it's not Gucci? Oh, you just spelled it wrong. All right. Buy live fish here. Boom. And we will pin that. All right, so today we're going to talk about dwarf cichlids, specifically dwarf cichlids that are good for community aquariums. Maybe a couple that aren't, like multis, but they can be. They can be in community aquariums. But they're definitely not very peaceful. Psycho, thank you. And to answer your question, Psycho, what did I do to fix the 75-gallon broken seam? I took everything out and I smashed the tank out of anger, and it helped me. It helped me a great deal. It was a very good stress reliever. And the thumbnail fish is an orange flash and a Pistogramma cockatoides. I'm not sure if it's a quadruple or a triple. It is actually not an orange flash. It is a red, the red variety. And now I gotta look. Who asked that question? Regina? I don't know. Now I gotta look. How do I look? I don't know. How do I see my own thumbnail? I already forgot. I'm 99% sure it's an orange flash. So there you go. Not orange flash. Starting off great. It's triple red. Triple red. Triple red. Making a pistos great. Yep. That is my goal. I mean, I don't make them great. They make themselves great. Obviously, we can start off talking about Epistos. How many Bolivian rams can I put in a 125 community tank? You could probably do at least 6, depending on, I don't know if you have like 100 other fish in there, but I would feel comfortable with 6 as long as it's not overstocked. It's a triple red as the thumbnail. Thank you. That's what I thought. And here I was waiting for an expert DIY answer. No. Unfortunately, Psycho, with the $1 per gallon sale, so the half off sale, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to reseal it. It's a multi-day project to reseal an aquarium, and it takes about 5 minutes to buy a new one for $100. So, I'm absolutely kidding. By the way, I did not go smash it. I did keep the panels, so I did, scrape off the silicone. Tearing an aquarium apart is way easier than resealing it. So I do have the glass panels. I was kidding about smashing it. Can we have a dwarf cichlid mixed tank like African cichlid tank? Yes, absolutely. So think Lake Tanganyika. If you want a mixed dwarf cichlid tank, think Lake Tanganyika. There's a lot of small cichlids coming out of Lake Tanganyika. They all occupy the lake, so they already all know each other. But think like you have to have different zones in your aquarium. So you could get some like Julia de Chromis, which I don't know. I would classify those as a larger dwarf cichlid, if that makes sense. But they're a rock dwelling species, and then you could do like multis, which is a shell dwelling. So pretty much on one side of the tank, you can just stack up a bunch of rocks. On the other side of the tank, you just throw in a bunch of shells, and they'll be honky dory. And if you want something to occupy like the water column, you throw in some Cyprichromis, which I would definitely say are dwarf cichlid. Now there's some jumbo sizes that are pretty big that I wouldn't call dwarf, but A lot of the Cyprechromis are going to be, 3.5 inches, and they are super peaceful. So yeah, I don't know that you could do it with any of the other lakes as far as the rift lakes, but definitely you could do mixed with Tanganyikan. Okay, we have Dwarf Cichlid. Oh, I just read that one. And we're actually going to take a quick field trip because there's an excellent resource for Dwarf Cichlids. And where is it at here? Here it is. If you've never been to this website before, you should definitely know it. Dwarfcichlid.com. So this is I've been using this website. I feel like this website hasn't been updated in forever, but it's still a really good resource. If you see here on the left, all these different species of pissogrammas, and then you have like the filamentosis down here, which is a really cool. The checkerboard cichlid, really cool. The curviceps here. Now these guys are not. Wait, that's not what I was thinking of. What was I thinking of? I was thinking of a different fish. So yeah, these guys also excellent for community aquariums. Of course, you have the rams. My favorite, Nanochromis. If you ever have an opportunity to get some of these, I would absolutely pick up a pair. You can do more than like a pair. I've kept 6 of these in a 40-gallon breeder, no problem. But like any dwarf cichlid, they're peaceful until they start breeding, and they will defend their spawn. So if you ever come in and like you see all your fish are on one side of the aquarium and there's a pair of dwarf cichlids on the other side, they've either spawned or they're about to spawn and they're just clearing the territory. But these are really, really cool fish. I have a couple of videos of these on my channel. Actually, most of these. I've got a lot of epistos on my channel. I don't have the curviceps though. And another one is the pelvic chromis. A lot of people just think, oh, the common crib. What's so great about that? One is a pretty cool fish, but there's many different varieties. So there's 4 of them here, but there's way more than this as well. My favorite is the Maliwe. If you can ever get a pair of pelvic chromis Maliwe, I would highly recommend it. There's a lot of like reclassification going on as well, so they still may not be that way, but I want to see if I can find them. There's also like pelvic chromis. Nigerian red is a really nice fish. Oh yeah, look at this right here. Let's go back to Firefox. Yeah, look at this fish right here. That is a beautiful crib. May not be a crib anymore, but at one point it was. But you can see, I mean, even up here, like all the different varieties. So don't just think common crib is the only one. There's lots of different dwarf, or lots of different cribensis. Look at these guys. I just think the Maliwes are my favorite. But yeah. Oh, I just got off that site. But anyways, dwarfcichlids.com. If you're into dwarf cichlids, I highly recommend it. As you saw, the list is not very complete. Like I said, I feel like it hasn't been updated in quite some time. But it's still, the information is really good. And you saw there's like 20 different species of pistos, which is awesome. A couple super chats. Ginger Grumble with the $5 super chat says, please remember to hit the like button. Yes, please hit the like button. Let's get some more people in here. Share it if you don't mind. That would be fun. Oh, I left my Bigfoot hat sitting there. Oh, well. Garden of Whedon with the $5 super chat says, I love your energy, man. I truly appreciate it. Well, thank you. I really do appreciate it, too. I love the field trips. I love my rainbow cichlids, but they are buttholes when they breed. Now, rainbow cichlids is going to be another name for cribensis. I don't know if that's like a geographic thing, because in the Northwest, we never call them rainbow cichlids here. We just call them cribs. But yeah, same thing. Oh, and also, hello everyone. If you said hello to me, I apologize, but I'm saying hello to everyone now. A blanket hello, because there's already way too many people to single people out. They look really cool. Now, I'm just blowing through these fish. I was hoping that I could at least make this like a good half-hour segment, but I'm just blowing through these fish so fast. Many different varieties available. Order now and get a second pair for $5. Just pay initial shipping and handling. Order 2 pair and get a free pair of steak knives. That's awesome. Thanks, Lumpy Dog. Gerda Schindler with the $1 super chat. Thank you. I appreciate it. Ginger says, I brought a friend today. I don't know what that means, but all right. So I did overdose my tank with Fritz Complete. I found out Blake was trying to help and added 2 caps of Fritz in every 5-gallon bucket. Of 6 buckets, I lost 5 out of 6 turquoise and 2 cardinal tetras. Communication is key. I apologize. That's awful, but Fritz Complete is also something that would be really hard to overdose on. You must have really did it. What would be a cool dwarf cichlid tank for a 55-gallon? What would be a cool dwarf cichlid? Well, maybe as we continue to go through some of these, you'll find one that you like. My favorites are always going to be Apistogramma and Nanochromis. By far, there's like not even a close third. Not even a close third. Or I guess a close second or first. It's those two by far. We could talk about rams, but I feel like everyone already knows about rams, right? The German blue rams, the gold rams. I did see earlier someone bring up sparkling gouramis. Even though a lot of gouramis kind of look like cichlids, they are in fact not cichlids. But still, a really cool cichlid looking fish that would be good for most community aquariums, like the honey gourami. I really love those sparkling gouramis. But again, not cichlids, so just want to make sure that we're aware of that. And then the Bolivian ram is probably again going to be on the larger scale of dwarf cichlids. They get pretty decent size. There's some wild ones that get actually really big, so I don't know if I would put those in that same category, but I think they're worth a mention. The Fishy Mailman says, Bob, any thoughts on putting a single Bolivian ram in my 75-gallon with a Shadontai puffer? No, I'm not saying that correctly, but too bad. He was the ram that got ousted in a different tank, healing in a different tank for a while. I don't see it. As long as they're the same size, I don't think I would see a problem with that. Bolivian rams generally aren't aggressive, and either are Congo spotted puffers. So I would do it, keep an eye on them, but I don't foresee a problem. There's plenty. I mean, you got 4 feet of floor space there for them to figure out territories. Are keyholes considered dwarf cichlid? Yes, the keyhole cichlid. This used to be a staple. Used to see these all over, but not so much anymore. And now it doesn't want to load. Did I lose internet? Again, probably on the larger side, but they're kind of similar to a fish that I was going to recommend, so we'll take a quick peek at them. They're bigger bodied, as you can see here. I used to never be able to go into a fish shop and not see these, but I can't even remember the last time I saw these in a fish store. But they're neat, bigger bodied, large dwarf cichlid, if that makes any sense at all. But yeah, I threw Bolivian rams in there, so I gotta throw these guys in there too, right? I gotta be fair. Howdy Bob, fancy link you got there. I know. Fancy. But one of the ones I wanted to the golden dwarf cichlid. I have a video of these guys. Not specific. It might take some time to find these on my channel, but I do have them. I wanted to bring these guys up because they're relatively easy to keep. They're really cool looking. Not the gold ram. Come on now. Well, it just wants to show me pictures, but we got one here. Like this guy right here in the middle. Oh, it's not showing my cursor now. What the heck? But we got this guy right here. Now, you see top left here. This is a good example of a golden dwarf cichlid from Arizona Gardens. They stole this picture. Do not buy fish from this place. You will get ripped off 100%. So don't do it. Trust me. Just don't buy fish from them. But yeah, this is a really cool, easy to breed little cichlid that I wanted to show off. Just give them a little shout out because I feel like they're underrepresented in the hobby. And then one that I do, Rams were your first dwarf cichlid. Love Epistos. Oh, never mind. Let me just start over here, Mario. Rams were my first dwarf cichlid love, but Epistos are my soulmates. Yep. Epistos, they're always going to be there. But here's one that almost never gets brought up when we talk about dwarf cichlids, which is a real shame, and it might be because they're harder to get a hold of. Let's see if I can pull this up here. All of a sudden, it's being really slow. Connor says, can I put Daisy's rice fish and cherry shrimp in the same tank? Yes. Water is room temperature and pH is 7. Absolutely. Your Daisy's rice fish are going to pick off some shrimp, but if you start with a big enough colony, they'll outproduce them. Also, you want to make sure you have lots of plants, or fake or real, just lots of places for the shrimp to hide. But yeah, absolutely, you can go together. They can go together. Just know that they're gonna pick off a few. What was the fish that you said would be great to swim up to the top? So Cyprichromis. I'll show you some Cyprichromis after we take a look at these guys. I love this fish. The Egyptian mouth brooder. Let's see if we can find like a good example. Yeah, but it's not coming up. Where are we at here? Okay, right here, middle left. Egyptian mouth brooder. And on top right here, the photo bucket, behind the photo bucket, this is not an Egyptian mouth brooder, but it's still a really cool fish. It's a pseudocrenlabriatus, I don't know, Nicholsi, but this is not the Egyptian mouth brooder on the top right. But middle left, there is a good example of the Egyptian mouth brooder. They get about 3 to 3.5 inches. Again, only aggressive when they're spawning. Really good for community aquariums. And I do have an entire video dedicated to these guys on my channel if you really want to. Matter of fact, there's the here it is right here. There it is. Oh my gosh, Hackers is on YouTube. They're hacking into the kernel. Is this gonna play or no? Oh. Can I get copyrighted on my own channel with my own video? That is really loud. Hope I didn't just burst anyone's eardrums. That was super loud. 374 likes. I like it. This late and I'm only at 75th like. Smash the like button. Okay. I don't need to see my face. I already see it enough. Anyways. I'm enjoying my Victorian mouth brooders. Northwest Treasure. NW Treasure. UPS are living the dream with a $25 super chat just because I feel like it. Thank you, Katie. I appreciate it. I'm sorry. Upser. Right? That's how you told me to pronounce it. Upser. You should tag them just to be safe. The blue mouth, yes, they have the blue lipstick. They do put on the blue lipstick. Copyright strike myself. Oh, I said we were gonna take a look at Cyprichromis, right? Cyprichromis leptosoma. We'll go back to images here. My other monitor is like way up here, so in case you're wondering why I'm looking up there. It's searching. It's going so slow. The male I have is a very pushy breeder, but he leaves the tetras and other fish alone. Generally, yeah, that's how they'll do it. If you want a really cool fish, check these out. There are many different varieties of the Cyprichromis leptosoma. There's also Cyprichromis microlepidotis or something like that. And there's also Paracyprichromis, which you can find a plethora of videos on my channel about Paris. Spelled the same way, just P-A-R-A, Cyprichromis. These are probably some of the most peaceful cichlids you're ever going to come across, and they are from Lake Tanganyikan. Sorry I'm late, Teach. Well, as long as you got your hall pass. Paul says, I'm another fan of dwarf cichlids, cribs, epistos, and then ninja. I can never pronounce that one. I just call them ninjas, but they're, you know, obviously that's wrong. Hongsloi, Laticara, they all live and breed in community tanks. Ceramic cockatoides, super reds. Yep. UPSer. So I was saying it right the whole time, and then you told me to say upser. Look at this one right in the middle. Look at this like neon. This is a crazy looking fish right here. I love it. Like I said, there was jumbo versions, so this guy is going to be about 4.5 inches when you get to jumbo. Otherwise, they're going to be about 3.5. Here's another really good example. But the speckleback moba, this is an amazing fish. I used to have like 20 of these back in the day. Oh man, I used to have like 6 different collection points. These are my second favorite fish behind rainbow fish. So yeah, so many different varieties. There's one called the Cariza Black. It's just like jet black. It's crazy. So awesome. I don't see one here though. This fish right here is why I want to go collecting in Lake Tanganyikan. Like the sole reason. Look at the color. Yes. Oh man, and they're so fun. They're called. They have like a common name of sardine cichlid, because they school in the hundreds to thousands, just like sardines, and they have the same body shape. But they're insane schoolers. Like you don't want to get a group of these and put them in like a 40 breeder. Like you want to spawn them in 40 breeders, but if you want them on display, I'm telling you, put these in a 6-foot tank and they're amazing. 8-foot tank, even better. It's just crazy. Let's see. Let's check in with chat here. I have a 75 with an angel, 2 Congo tetras, some cories, and a pleco. Oh, and a gold ram. Any suggestions what else I can throw in there with them? All right, let me go through this again. 1 angel, 2 Congo. Well, I would definitely get more Congo tetras. I would get quite a bit more. 1, because they're super awesome, and 2, because they're schooling fish. And the pleco, so you got the pleco, cories, you got kind of a centerpiece. I'm not a big centerpiece fish person, but you got one there with the angel. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I would just get more Congo tetras. Maybe throw in, if I really needed something else, I would probably do, honestly, I would probably do, like I said, a couple more Congo tetras and probably gold rams. So German rams love to be in groups. They're not a schooling fish, but they are a shoaling fish. So I would just get more of what you already have in their Rach. That's what I would do. Almost like saltwater colors against the velvet black. So Lake Tanganyikan is about as close as saltwater you're gonna get in a freshwater. Like there's saltwater fish that live in Lake Tanganyikan because it's really hard, super hard water, super high pH. Gorgeous, absolutely. Would they be okay? So here's the thing. When we're talking about Cyprichromis, they are Lake Tanganyikan fish, and like I said, they come from insanely hard water, super high pH. You can acclimate them to lower. It takes a long time. I've done it multiple times, but you're talking like couple spawns, a couple generations, and constantly lowering the pH. But you're definitely gonna want, if you're ordering these, you're definitely gonna want your pH above 8. A lot of people will say 9, but honestly, as long as you're 8 and above, you're doing just fine with Tanganyikan fish, especially because most of them are going to be bred, not wild caught. So Cyprichromis would be okay with angels, as long as your water parameter is in line with Cyprichromis. Great topic, by the way. I just got back from Texas Aquatics and picked me up a male and 2 female cribs. Awesome. How many Cyprichromis would I put in a 60 breeder? So I probably wouldn't do any of the jumbos, even though it is a 4-foot tank. I would rather have more smaller ones than less jumbos. Even though it's only an inch, they're a little bit bigger bodied too, so it does make a difference. I would probably... Now, the other thing with Cyprichromis is they're really expensive. Lake Tanganyikan fish, a lot of them are not great shippers, so they tend to cost a little bit more. So keep that in mind. A lot of these Cyprichromis are going between like 15 to 30, all the way up to like $60 a fish. So, with that in mind, I'd probably do like a dozen. I'd be okay with a dozen. What is my favorite out of the Dario genius? I've only ever seen a few in person. The black tiger Dario, by far. I've only kept 3 different species of Dario, but black tigers. There was a blue one that I cannot remember the common name of or the scientific name that I ordered once a long time ago and had them for a little bit, but they didn't do well for me. But the black tiger Darios, it was very easy to get them on prepared food. Are Apistos also hard water? So Apistos are going to be from South America, so it's going to be definitely soft water. Soft water. Not all aggressive to tetras. Don't you have super soft water in Seattle area like me? Yes, I do. So, like I said, I was able to bring my Cyprichromis down to breeding in my tap water, which was right around 7 pH. Now, I did have crushed coral, so it was still harder. Ooh, excuse me. Whew. But yeah, it can be done. You don't want to take a fish. Because a lot of the breeders are replicating Tanganyikan, not fully, right? Because you're like 9.5 pH in Lake Tanganyika. But there's a lot of breeders that keep it right around 8 to 8.5. And if you take that fish and throw it in your 7 pH or lower tank, it's not going to have a good time. But say you set up a tank, you have it at like 8 pH, and then you breed them, and then like you'll take the fry out and you'll raise them up in maybe 7.5 pH. And you raise them up, let them spawn, and then you take their fry and then you raise them up in like 7 pH. So it's not something that I would just do like, okay, overnight, we're just going to drop in, a bunch of acidic water and call it good. Ginger Grumble with the $5 super chat says 203 viewers, only 112 likes. Last I looked, please hit the like button. Do Festivus cichlids need a school? This is a fish that I'm not very fond of. But if I did keep them, I would keep them in a group in a tank large enough to keep them in a group. So if you keep a group of them in a tank that's too small, they're just going to fight and kill each other. What's a good starter dwarf cichlid for someone who hasn't had them before? Absolutely Apistogramma cockatoides. They're basically bulletproof at this point. So yeah, Apistogramma cockatoides, super easy to breed, bred in high pH, bred in low pH. They'll just adapt to anything. They're super durable. What's the longest you've kept a single pistil alive? I have no idea. Not over 5 years. It's usually that 3 to 5 year range. But I don't really keep track, and also I don't know how old the fish are when I get them. But I had one male that was right around 5 years old that I killed myself. So I got him from someone who said he was a retired breeder. They said he was 4 years old. I had him for a year, and then I killed him out of negligence, which really sucked. It's always annoying when fish die, but it's always just, it hurts. It hurts a lot more when you're the reason they died. So, yeah, that one still kind of stings a little bit. But if they were correct, he would have been 5 years, and he was still going strong. So, believing rams are also a good starter dwarf cichlid. Yep, they're going to be on the larger end of the dwarf, but I will include them. Job says triple reds are the best. We can fight over this. I would say quadruple reds are better. And thank you for the $4.20 super chat. It's good to see you, Chris. I feel like I haven't seen you in years. Although I know you're out there plowing snow and keeping busy, so that's good. My favorite dwarf cichlid, all shell dwellers. Yeah, we briefly talked about shell dwellers. Another Lake Tanganyikan fish. I think a lot of you just need a Lake Tanganyikan biotope. It's so much fun. So much fun. Hey Bob, how'd those pineapple epistles do for you? My group slowly fell apart one by one. Maybe my well water was too hard. As far as I know, I got 7, and they're all still alive. So they're in a 125-gallon tank that's insanely planted. It would almost be impossible to find all 7 of them if they were all still alive. But yeah, I didn't have any issues with them at all. And I think Candy got some, and I believe hers are doing okay. I may be wrong, but last time I asked her, they were doing really well. So yeah, they might not like the well water. Agazizi Eye or McMaster Eye? So I'm fond of McMaster Eye because they were the second Episto that I ever spawned. So there's some nostalgia there. So I would go with McMaster Eye myself. Mike says, absolutely love. Oh, hey, Mike. I feel like I haven't seen you in forever either. I absolutely love my jumbo Katumba sips. Mine breed like guppies. Actually grow out rainbow fish fry and sips in the same tank with no issues. Very underrated cichlid. Yes, they're super easy to breed. Like any African cichlid is really easy to breed. They're mouth brooders. You can strip them. I do not strip them though. I always let them grow up. They'll as long as you give them places to hide, they generally will not go after their fry. And by places to hide, so they're really weird. So this is kind of shaped, right? Like a Cyprichromis, long and skinny. The fry will back up to the glass. Wait, you can't see that. Pretend that like this is like the side of your aquarium. They'll back up vertical like this and hide against the glass. Now that's not really giving them a place to hide, right? You can't really hide against glass. If someone breaks into my house, I'm not going to hide in front of the window. So you got to get like tall slate rocks, and then they'll back up. You know, they're the same color as the rock, so they'll just back up, and they'll just sit there. When they feed, they'll come out, and they're big enough. Right when the mom spits them out, they're big enough to accept crushed flake. So they're just really easy. Like I said, the reason they're so expensive is because they're not really great shippers. They're very fragile. So a lot of the mistake people make with Cyprichromis is they ship them too young, and then they break their spines. So you're usually buying like a semi-adult fish, which is going to make them more expensive. Fish Tank Barn says, agree with Bob. Everyone needs a Lake Tanganyikan biotope. I really enjoy mine. Yeah, there's some of my favorites. Like I said, if I only could do rainbow fish and Lake Tanganyikan tanks, so like planted rainbow tanks and Lake Tanganyikan tanks for the rest of my life, I would never get bored. Orange Flash epistogrammas are really cool too. Yep. For some reason, people tend to go for like the triple red more, but I really like the Orange Flash, and I actually prefer the Orange Flash. I have a breeding pair of Shelleys and tons of fry. 2 other adults aren't involved in that family. Would it be okay to put those in the community tank so they are breeding pair, have more room? Yeah, I would just keep an eye on them. Sometimes there can be some aggression, so I would just keep an eye on them. What's the coldest you think a common pleco can survive in a pond? My pond gets down to 50 this year. I'm sure they would survive in 50. Is there anything that they won't survive in? Let's be real. hate those fish. No offense. No offense. Plecos are awesome. Just common plecos. There's too many of them. Too many. Someone isolate that and post it. Wait, what are we doing? I missed it. Son of a Quack says, do you think there is a way to decontaminate a siphon? Yes, I do. Used it once in a quarantine tank where Corey got ick. Lost it 2 days later. It died. Bleach. Just get a bucket of bleach and let it sit in there for a little while. Rinse it out. Let it dry out, and you should be fine. If you're still worried about it, bleach it. Like, let it soak in bleach. Put it in a new bucket with fresh water and throw some prime in there, or safe, whatever your dechlorinator is. And if you're really worried about it, but yeah, easy peasy, bleach. Ginger, it is so dirty. I will never use Stratum again. Me neither. Stratum is very dirty. And in my experience, it breaks down way faster than even the knockoff brands. I actually have a 20 long set up right now with Fluval Stratum, and it's like half Stratum, half dirt. It's awful. It is the worst. I have what do I have in there? I have Blahari rainbows. I have a male and 3 females and a spawning mop, and it's so dirty. I'm trying to get some green water in there, but yeah, if they get down to the substrate and start doing what rainbow fish do when they're getting busy, they'll just stir up dirt. It's the worst. I'd rather have dirt, like actual dirt in my aquarium over Fluval Stratum, but whatever. Thanks. I'm enjoying the show. Well, thank you. I'm glad. Good to hear. Well, I have one Lake Tanganyikan tank, and it's a Shelly tank that's heavily planted, stems and all. There's a lot of plants that would love that hard Tanganyikan water too. You can grow a fair amount of plants. A lot of people, they think African cichlid tanks can't have plants. Au contraire, my friend. Oh, you can have plants. Done it. Do it. Plants. Yes. Yeah, what Bob said. What? Meloplanet Aquatics has just joined Midnight Rams for a community tank. Yep, black rams are getting really popular. Again, just a color variation of the German ram, but they look pretty cool. My Dwarf tank, I would need a 125 with about 50 Demonsoni. Ooh, that's a lot of angry people, or angry cichlids. A lot of angry cichlids. On a scale of 1 to warmouth, how aggressive are Epistogramma cockatoides? Not aggressive at all. When talking about a plant at 75, something like cardinal tetra is not aggressive. They won't go after tetras at all. So I'll give you an example of when they'll be aggressive, right? So here is your thing of seasoned cashews, right? Just kidding. Think of this as like your dwarf cichlid cave. This is where they're gonna spawn. They'll only be aggressive right at the opening. And if like a cardinal tetra comes down within like 6 inches, they'll just dart out and scare it and go right back in. They won't chase it all the way across the other side of the aquarium to kill it. Very rarely would an Epistogramma cockatoides kill a fish. Now, if a cardinal tetra goes into that cave and starts harassing eggs, yeah, it's probably going to get dead. It's not going to have a good time. Uh, 70% alcohol works too. Yeah, I mean, there's other stuff too. It just depends on your paranormal or paranoia level. I've done it with hydrogen peroxide, distilled white vinegar. You don't have to use bleach. I used to be like, whoa, I don't want bleach anywhere near my aquariums. And then like one day, all I had was bleach, and I was like, what's the big deal? There's one, just let it dry out, rinse it, let it dry out. I never had a problem. And well, so I guess on your scale of 1 to 10 or 1 to warmouth, it would be a 1, Thomas, a 1. Rex says, I want to move and rescape my pea puffer tank. It's going to be a day-long process. Would a pair of them be okay in a heated bucket with an air stone and hornwort? Yes. So the key is, Rex, is to don't overthink it. These fish spend days in bags when they're getting shipped. So spending like 8 hours in a bucket with an air stone, it's not going to be a big deal. Hydrogen peroxide works too. Yep. Lacey says, I've got high paranormal level. I used to be paranoid about bleach a lot. And then I just used it and I was like, hey, this actually works pretty good. I do give it, I'm still a little paranoid. So like if I bleach something like nets, I'll let it dry out, but I'll still wait like a week or two before I use that net just to make sure. Bleach is like just chlorine. It's already in your water. Shouldn't be terribly concerned if you treat it properly. Yeah, like that's why you just add the prime in there and you're good to go. Good to go. Fair warning, I'm on my 4th half-gallon jug of water, so there will probably be an intermission at some point. I'd be surprised if I make it the whole 2 hours. So throwing that out there, just a warning. Ooh, the worst dwarf cichlid I have ever kept. That's a very good question. I can't think of any bad dwarf cichlids I've ever kept. So what would be the worst? Even if I did pick a worst one, it would still be a really cool fish because they're all pretty cool. If we reworded this a little bit and said, if you couldn't keep one dwarf cichlid the rest of your life, I would probably say probably the golden dwarf cichlid. I don't know. I'm sure there's something else out there. I don't know. I just haven't had any that I would say are worst. There's one. What's the one? I've never kept them because I know that they're huge jerks. Baby Oscars, very bad dwarf cichlid. Yeah, sure. That's funny. The black rams are angry little buggers. Really? I know nothing really about black rams other than your standard ram, like German ram. I've yet to keep any of the black knight rams. So are they more aggressive? That seems kind of weird. Rex says, have you considered keeping saltwater tanks? Why or why not? I have kept a saltwater tank, like the 29-gallon BioCube thing where it's all like built in. No, not 29. There's 2 sizes. I had the smaller one. I did really enjoy it. I just had a couple crabs, a couple pulsing zinnias, I think green something polyps, whatever the basic green one is, and some fish that love jumping back into the sump so much. I wish I could remember what it was, but every day I was netting it out, and finally I was like, I'm done. If you want to live in the sump, live in the back container. I don't care. But yeah, it was pretty fun. And do I still think about it? Yes, and I'll probably have one eventually at some point. But again, it would be very basic, very basic. And it would only because I love pulsing zinnia. Like in the saltwater world, pulsing zinnia is like duckweed. People hate it, but I love it. I think it looks cool. So I do dream of having like a 33 long, just absolutely caked in pulsing zinnia. I have the tank, so I'll set it up one day. It's about finding room. I need to find a space for it. I still have bags of salt. Well, I have a saltwater tub outside for brine shrimp, so I have everything I need. I just don't have the space. Zen Ginger says, really enjoyed yesterday's After Super Bowl member stream. Have we decided a definite schedule yet, or still winging it? Still winging it. I really want to try to get it on a schedule. But man, There's just so much going on right now. So much going on. It's way more difficult than it should be. I just need to pick a time and stick to it, but I haven't yet. That was definitely a firefish. Yes, you are right. That's it. It was a firefish with the little mohawk thing on its forehead. Man, that was reef cops. Yeah. Oh man, that thing was so annoying. I had to buy a special net because the back compartment of that BioCube was like 2.5-inch sections. So I had to have my LFS order like a special like 2-inch net just so I could get it down in there. And after like 2 weeks of netting it out, I was like, screw it. I don't even care anymore. Oh yeah. I had the Bengai cardinal fish. The Bengai cardinal fish. I also had one of those. My Royal Pleco is named Rex. I used to work with someone named Rex. Oh, what is this here? This sounds like an interesting question. If you had to choose just one variety of cichlid and one bottom dweller to go in a heavily planted tank with soil substrate, what combo would you use? Oh, that's easy. It would be Corydoras and Epistogrammas. Epistogramma would be my cichlids, and I would get a group of them, and I would get a big group of Corydoras for my bottom dwellers. Now, if you could only have one bottom dweller, it would be a Pleco. But that's just my preference. Yes, black rams are extra aggressive. Do not recommend. Your community tank will probably be gone in just a few days. That's crazy. I've heard a lot about... obviously, you know, I mean, Dean's local, and I went and toured his fish room, and we saw the black rams. I've never heard that they were aggressive. That's kind of weird. I believe you. I mean, you're not the first person to say that tonight, so... Sechem fluorite would have to be my worst and most messy substrate. So, fluorite is not Sechem. Am I mistaken? Those are different companies, right? Or am I wrong? Now I gotta look it up. Because fluorite is insanely dirty, and I will never buy that stuff again either. Unless I'm thinking of something else. What is Sechem? What's the other one that I'm thinking of? They sell it at PetSmart, which F PetSmart. Never shopping there again. Let me look. What's up, Bob? Just made it from work. Hey, Unholy Orders. Why don't you like Festivus, Bob? They're just not my style of fish. Like, I can appreciate them, but the larger, like Central South American cichlids, just not my jam. I'm really wanting to find this. Okay, gravel and substrate. Yeah, I was mixed up. I'm trying to find the... What's the one I'm thinking of here? I'm on their website now. I don't see it. Maybe they don't sell it anymore. It was some planted substrate. I don't know. It's gonna come to me at like 3 in the morning. I'm gonna jump up wide awake and be like, "Oh, that's it." It was so dirty. I actually was doing it. Maybe it is. Was it fluorite? I don't think. Maybe. I'm pretty sure it wasn't though. Oh, this is gonna bug me. I know it wasn't fluorite. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'll look at it later. Not fluval stratum, but fluval stratum is really dirty. I've never used any Brightwell Aquatics, so I'm not. It definitely wasn't that. It was sand. It was planted sand substrate. Ugh. ADA? No, actually, I actually like ADA soil. I don't think it's worth the price, but I do actually like it. It's just way too expensive. Like, way too expensive. Cycle says, my black ram was not aggressive. I feel like epistles are more aggressive. Interesting. I'll figure it out, and we'll talk about it next week, because it was seriously the worst substrate I've ever had. It was a planted sand substrate, and it was a competitor to Seachem. And I do like the Seachem Eco Complete, the red one, the red version. Definitely wasn't Dennerley. It was only sold at PetSmart, and I can't find it, so maybe it was so bad that they don't even sell it anymore. Man. Maybe, okay, I'm going to look one more time. I'm just going to Google it, though. Okay. That did not help. This was also like 4 years ago. Maybe it was fluorite. That doesn't seem right, though. No, it wasn't fluorite. It wasn't that. Like, I can picture the design of the bag and everything. Oh, this is gonna keep me up for days. I know it. I'm gonna have to go through and sit through like my live streams from like 4 years ago, where I would just rant about it for hours on end. The only fluorites I'm seeing are gems and jewelry. Amazonia? Nope. That's the same as Eco Complete, or so I think. What? All right. Now that I've ignored chat, I'm confused, so I'm just gonna scroll to the bottom. Fish Preacher, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. API substrate, never heard of it. You know, I don't know. I just don't know. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna try to forget about it and never think about it again, but I'm sure I will. Blue Water Jim says, I use play sand and river rock from Lowe's. I heard the play sand is really dirty, but not the sand I was thinking of. I use the Aquarium Co-op root temp CO2 injection, and my plants grow so fast I can barely keep up with them. That's the CO2 injection, my friend. That's the exact reason I quit doing CO2 injection. I spent more time cutting stem plants than I did anything else, and it was the worst. National Geographic sand. No, again, this was from like 4 or 5 years ago, and I don't even see it on their website anymore. So that's what I did. I did search for planted sand substrate, planted aquarium sand substrate. Thanks. It was a happy surprise. Never bred libraries before. Oh, I recently bought from fish store side. No, it's quarantine tank. A few swimming around. After I moved, I had a few swordtails in there too. Wait, you had swordtails breed for you? That's pretty neat. Some more to my community tank. All right. What's up, Rack? What's going on, buddy? Was it Contra Soil? I don't think so. Tropica Soil? Sorry. Now I need no. I've never used Tropica Soil. I thought about buying some just to try it out. But I don't know. I'm probably just going to get dirt. Just plain old dirt. Nothing wrong with dirt. Hopefully get the 300 gallon in the fish room this week, and it's going to be dirted. API substrate. All right. Anyways, I'm gonna forget about it. I promise. I'm gonna try. It's gonna bug me all night, but I'll do my best. Again, it's going to be one of those things where I wake up at like 3 in the morning and be like, oh, that's what it was. And I'm going to start a live stream at 3 in the morning just to say, this is what it was. Fluorite black is trash. I spent 2 days cleaning it. So the fluorite sand, I do know, is pretty bad. Pretty bad. I would never use fluorite sand because, like Garden of Whedon says, you're gonna be spending a lot of time cleaning it. That one I know. Recently got a pair of Agazizi, and thank you for the $5 super chat, Garden of Whedon. I appreciate it. Recently got a pair of Epistogramma Fire Reds, Agazizi Fire Reds, and I'm a little confused as to what to do if they start breeding new to Epistos. Well, you are in the right spot, my friend. So, a couple things are going to happen. They're going to spawn in a cave. They're going to guard that cave, both parents. And then, once they hatch out and are free swimming, then the female is going to take over care and kick the male out. And if your tank is too small, it is possible that the female might kill the male. You can remove the eggs because they'll go into a cave and they'll just like plaster them on a wall, on the inside wall. And you can actually just take the whole cave out and move it to a different aquarium, and you can just raise them up separate, or you can let the mom raise them up. But eventually, you're gonna want to take them out. Like a week after they're free swimming, I would probably scoop them out and move them into their own tank. But you're probably going to want some really, really fine, small food. Whether it's live or just like a really small fry food, powdered food. If they are spawning, I would get ready for that. Definitely get food on board. I've done like vinegar eels are super easy to raise up and feed. So maybe... I don't know where your skill level is, or you can get like just really, really small, fine powdered food. But they may not go after it, or they will go after live food. Ginger Grumble with the $5 super chat says, hour number 2 already. We are in hour number 2. We are opening up to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. That's what the second hour is for, so we can get weird if you want. We can keep talking fish. Whatever you guys want to do, you guys are driving the show now. That sounded funny, and I don't know why. She kicks the male out. Yeah, so, like, you can spawn Epistos in, like, an 8-gallon tank, but you better get the male out of there once those eggs hatch, because pre-hatch, like, the male is the super aggressive one. After the spawn, it's like just a flip of the switch, and then the female gets crazy aggressive towards the male. Now, if you're just breeding them in a community tank, you have like a 55-gallon. Obviously, the male has plenty of room to get away, but in a small tank, not so much. That's not really the case with actually Epistogramma cockatoides. They're not that aggressive, but other species definitely are. That's not crazy. I just had a few in my quarantine tank and I had to add them to my community tank when it was time. The other day I went to the clean at the quarantine tank and noticed them. That's always a good surprise, right? Kind of like Christmas. It's always nice finding fry. Like, is there ever a time when finding fry doesn't put a smile on your face? Maybe if it's like Oscars, like fry, you're like, ugh, not Oscars. Or maybe like the errata cichlid. There's definitely some out there that you don't want to be breeding. But most of the time, like 99.9% of the time, finding fry in your tank is a pretty happy experience. It's a 29-gallon heavily planted community tank. You're probably just fine. I would remove them. Now there's a chance that they might not even hatch out. Sometimes it takes cichlids 2 or 3 spawns to figure out, what they're supposed to do. And who's supposed to raise what. So don't be surprised if your first couple spawns are unsuccessful. They'll keep spawning, they'll keep trying, as long as they're happy. Have I ever had Jamaican jerk chicken? Might be my new favorite recipe. No. Jamaican jerk chicken? I don't know if that's a real thing or if you're trying to troll me somehow. Jamaican jerk chicken. I hope that's not like a bad word or something. Is that a real thing? Somebody tell me if that's real. I don't know. What was more fun on PUBG, motorcycle, car, or ultralight plane? Ultralight plane. with somebody else in the plane with you. Shooting people like while you're flying around is pretty fun. Yeah. Yay, more convict fry. Woohoo! I'm letting nature take its course. These are more Australian. Things will breed more than rabbits. I've never had the chicken, but I heard of it before. All right, so it is a real thing then. These guys are dum-dums. Honestly, the female thinks she's a Harlequin Rasbora. That's kind of funny. Where can one get vinegar eel starter or such? Jerk chicken is the bomb. All right, it's a real thing then. All right, that's good. I don't know why. It sounds very trolly. Jamaican jerk chicken. Starter. All my live starter packs come from local fish breeders. I don't know of a place that would do that. Maybe like, I hate to say eBay, but I've bought live foods off eBay before. It's kind of risky, but as long as they have good reviews, I'm okay with trying it. But I don't know of any like online store doing vinegar eels, and there might be out there. Hopefully someone in chat would know if there is. Chicken dish is real spicy. Ooh, see, I'm not really big on spicy stuff. I like spicy stuff, but I don't like my eyes watering. I don't like it makes my nose start running. It's just not an enjoyable experience. Same happened to me, Zen, but I don't have a turtle to call. I'm trying to find courage to ask LFS to take them. Wait, what? Jamaican jerk chicken is a real thing. I made it with a side of rice and grilled veggies. All right. Psycho with a $5 super chat says, my hair is brown, but my beard grows red. Is that enough to join the ginger? Red and blonde. Is that enough? I don't know. It sounds like a pretty low ratio. You're going to have to ask the gingers on that one. I don't know if they'll accept you into their club. Oh, Mandy, duh, Aquabid. Mandy gets hers off Aquabid. There you go. I always forget about Aquabid because I don't use it anymore. But there you go. Aquabid. Oh, guppies. Yeah. Do you ever use General Cure in the fish food to treat internal parasites? No. I have mixed. So I have mixed medicine into like Repashy, but not General Cure. And thank you, Psycho, for the $5 super chat. Tesla Killdozer with the $5.01. He one-upped you 1 cent. Bob, Jamaican jerk chicken is a thing. I prefer to call it Jamaican rude and inconsiderate chicken. There you go. You're Jamaican me rude and inconsiderate chicken. Jamaican jerk chicken is copacetic, especially on the island. All right. I'm not letting that comment through. That's on you. What comment? I missed it. Vinegar eels on Get Gills. Great seller. There's a link there from Lumpy Dog. Thank you. I don't see a link. Did something get taken down? What happened? Dang it. I wasn't paying attention. Oh well, that's what I get. Half ginger equals daywalker. Source, my boyfriend is a daywalker. Aquabid sells live cultures. So Get Gills and Aquabid. There you go. Jerk is the name of the spice rub that is on it. Spicy from actual spices and spicy from hot peppers. Very tasty. I do like peppers. All this talk about chicken is Jamaican me hungry. It's Jamaican me hungry too. Like, I haven't had dinner yet. I kind of want chicken katsu. I've been craving that. But I have to drive like an hour to get food. It's the worst. Are there any cichlids that should be kept alone or not in a group of others of the same type? Sorry, very new to cichlids. Haven't owned one yet, but I do like them. Want to get a single... I believe cichlids are the highest populated of all genres, right? Or all geniuses, genre, whatever. So yeah, there's a lot of Central and South American cichlids that are just hyper aggressive and will kill everything in the tank, and they need to be kept alone. But they're also fairly large, so you need like 250-gallon tanks. So if you start getting into those type of cichlids, you'll see it on YouTube a lot. Well, it'll be like a 180-gallon tank with one cichlid in it, and that's why, because it kills everything else. Ginger Grumble with the $5 super chat says, Psycho, you are a ginger beard man. I need a few more turquoise since almost all of yours died. Any advice? Don't make it sound like they died because they were mine. How about that? Jeez. Jamaican is south of the U.S., so it's more of a Caribbean thing. Wait, what? Oh, that was to UPS. You're living the dream. If you need more rainbows, I would click on that link and see what Dan has. Son of Quack always had Eheim heaters, 40 years plus, no trouble, but do get rid of them after 5 or so years. Heaters are the worst. They're worse than hang-on back filters, literally. I hate heaters. I hate them so much. What hobbies do you have outside of aquatics? Well, I got these hanging on the wall. I got my piano right behind me here. There you go. Music, and I also am into other things that YouTube does not like, so I'm not going to say that. UPSer Living the Dream says, it was not my fault. It was my fault they died. Yes, thanks for clarifying. It's not because you got them from me. Bob, your rainbows I got from you died. Where can I get some more? That just doesn't do well for the brand, you know? Psycho with the $5.02 super chat says, woohoo, gingerbread band. Ginger beard psycho. Ginger beard psycho. The fiance is making homemade gyros. Gyros. I know they're heroes, but I call them gyros. I so wish I didn't need heaters. How do you not have a fish room? You make it happen, Captain. You need a fish room, then you don't need heaters. Bob is a Magic the Gathering Grand Wizard. I have never played that game, and I will never play that game. Oh, actually, there's something right here that'll tell you one of my other hobbies. I didn't even know that was there, but there you go. That should give you a clue of one of my other hobbies. I have lots of dead fish from Bob, too. I mean, there was a giant freeze that killed most of them, but still true. You sons of bitches, I swear. Lucas Brazzi? Oh, at Lucas. I have a small tank, and I hope nothing happens to me, but I feel like it's wishful thinking. Also, Steenfott Aquatics. Do you not use heaters? Can't heat the room, so it is my only option. I very sparingly use heaters. Very sparingly. If I have situations where I'm breeding fish and I need to raise the temperature above room temperature is fish room temperature. Robbing banks? Yeah. That's why I have so many masks. K Stu says, Regina Phalanges, happy Valentine's Day. Oh, is there a Valentine's in the works here? What's going on here? Is also Rockhound. Well, I mean, kinda. I mean, hiking, camping, and I do collect rocks for my aquariums. Does that count? I also collect wood as well for my aquariums. A collector of wood and rocks, if you will. Hey, Carlos says, I won a trio of threadfin rainbows at my local club raffle. Can you recommend the best setup for them? Like all rainbows, just a planet tank. So the thing you're going to want to be, threadfin rainbows are very easy fish. They're not particularly hard to care for at all. I would definitely say they're very undemanding in their needs. However, The one thing you want to be careful about with threadfin rainbows is their thread fins. So do not put them with anything that's going to be like fin nippers. There's some tetras that are pretty famous for fin nipping, like Pristilla tetras. So just nothing that's going to go after their fins, because some fish, believe it or not, they're not the smartest animals in the world, and they, they'll think those fins are worms and think they're food. So Casey was engaged. Bob, read the chat. Engaged to you, Regina? I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Happy VD. Happy venereal disease. It's a joke. Just joking, Regina Phalanges. Just a joke. Oh, man. Trying to figure out what that thing is behind Bob's piano. It is not a camo hat. It is actually a Bigfoot hat. Where's Bigfoot? Here is Bigfoot. See, it's like in the wild. You have to find him. It's like, where's Waldo? But it's Bigfoot. Oh, there's Bigfoot. Right there. Bigfoot right on top. It's a whole family of foots. There you go. It's a bucket hat. I got that on one of our Get Outdoors videos, on one of our Get Outdoor adventures. We took a ferry across to some little island, and there was a little gift shop, and they had all kinds of Bigfoot paraphernalia, so I had to get something. There's no way I could walk out of that store without giving him some of my money. Just wasn't going to happen. Any recommendations for nanofish in a highly planted high flow? High flow, interesting. I'm thinking pygmy cories, something else, lampi or rockets. So the high flow, even for fish that you would think like high flow, like rocket, rock Achilles or lampi Achilles, they don't really enjoy high flow. You'd think with a name like Rock Achilles, they would like high flow, but they're just named Rocket because of how they look. I guess, like, I don't know how much high flow is to you, but high flow to me is like what I would put plecos in, where they have to have a sucker mouth just to hold on. But if high flow for you is just like a hang on back filter, then yeah, all those would do well. We need more camping videos. We literally just released one last week. Like, come on, man. I can't release them weekly. We don't go camping that much. Uh-oh. Did I finally lose internet? It turned red. Am I still here? I think I'm still here. Oh, I'm yellow. I think I'm back. If I left, I'm back. If I never left, I'm still here. I think. Twin Cities Guppies says, Bob, can you tell me about black tiger batis? Yes, so they're similar body size, shape, structure to just the Dario, obviously. Except they're black and red striped. And the only difference between like a scarlet batis and the black tiger and that I've come across is that black tigers took to prepared food like flake way easier. I've kept them a couple times throughout the years, and it was always super easy to get them eating flake food or pellets. Whereas like the scarlet batis, while a lot of people have success getting them on a flake, it just was never the case for me. But there's not really anything other, there's no special care difference between them and like the scarlet batis. They're almost identical in care. But they're still really cool. They're aggressive, just like the scarlet batis. But again, they're really small, so they can't really do anything. They're all talk and show. But they will try. They'll try to kill something, but again, they're kind of wimps, so it doesn't really happen that much. And when I kept them at 75 degrees, 7.0 pH. Again, my just standard parameters that I always keep my fish tanks at, and I kept them highly in like super densely planted, like moss, stargrass, guppy grass, plants that were just super dense. And I also had shrimp with them so they could go after shrimplets if they wanted to. You're good? Okay, I never left. All right. That's weird. It turned red and said I was gone. And now it says I've been live for 2.5 minutes, so that was really weird. A glitch in the matrix, I guess. We lost some packets. Kenny E, what's going on, buddy? I am really looking forward to your fish show this year. It is the only one I can say that I'm going to 100%. And that's because it's local. I can drive there. I wouldn't say it's local. It's about a 4.5 hour drive, but it was a lot of fun last year. I can't wait. 2-day event this year. Pretty excited, my friend. Pretty excited. Buying more fish. This time I clicked your link. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. Whoa, maybe mine is moderate flow. It's a hang on back rated for 30 gallons on a 5-gallon. I mean, that could be lots of flow. That's a 5-gallon is not very much water. I would say if it looks like your fish are struggling, they are. If it looks like they're being blown around, they are. So I would just definitely keep an eye on them. One thing to think about when you're putting fish in moderate or high flow, again, that's pretty subjective, but if you're putting fish in high flow tanks, they're expanding a lot of calories swimming, so you'll need to feed them more, or they will just wither away and die just from lack of calories. So not something that people think about too often when setting up high flow tanks is feeding more to compensate, but definitely something you should always keep an eye on. My rainwater is way too soft for guppies to do well. I mean, you could probably just use, like, if you really want guppies, I don't know if you do, but if you really wanted guppies, you could just do, like, maybe like a crushed coral substrate. Spent Saturday night ice fishing on Milli Vanilli Lake and got stopped by Twin Cities guppies on the way home. Oh, stopped by Twin Cities guppies on the way home. Picked up some adorable hillstream loaches, snails, and shrimp. Everyone is looking good. I think Jimmy's going out there this week too, which will be fun. So we'll actually get to get a tour, a Jimmy tour of the store. Looking forward to that. I think this week. I don't know. Is that like announced? Do people know that? Am I not supposed to say that? I don't know, but I just said it. So too late now. Nothing you can do about it. Best way to deal with blackbeard algae. It's not a bad case. It depends. So if it's on like let's say like this is like a piece of wood and there's like half of it's covered. If I could easily take that piece of wood out without creating any mess or really ruining the escape, then I would just take that out and I would just spray it with hydrogen peroxide, let it sit for a minute, and then soak it in water and then put it back in the tank. But I wouldn't put it back in the tank for 2 days because after 2 days, it'll all dissolve and die off. So if it's on a piece of, decor or hardscape in the tank, then I would just get a little pipette. I would fill that with hydrogen peroxide and I would just spot treat it. And again, it'll die in 2 days. After day 1, it'll turn like a purple pink color. And then day 2, it usually dies and goes away. Tightest schooling fish. There's definitely probably some debate to be had there. Rummy nose tetras, bloodfin tetras, cyprichromis. There's probably a lot more, but there's a couple for you. I'm headed home from work, so lurking. Just wanted to drop in and chat and say hello. Ginger, I don't know who I was talking to, but we were just talking about you. Nothing negative, just I think we were talking about who's like longest members, I think it was. and your name came up. It's good to see you. It's good to see you. Don't see you as much as I used to. So thanks for stopping by and saying hello. I appreciate it. I have some white fuzzy algae with little black brown bits in the fuzz. Any idea? Is it on wood? Is it like on a new piece of wood you put in your aquarium? If it is, that's pretty normal. It'll go away. Bristlenose plecos will eat that white fuzzy algae. It is now. Oh, he's there now. So, all right. Oh, man. Looking forward to it, Bob. Me too. I wish it was sooner. Like, when is it? In October? Can we make it like, I don't know, March? I could really use a vacation right now. I could use a couple days away. Man, this elk burger is amazing. Well, duh. Like, it's elk. Of course. It's on plants, and my bristle nose does not eat it. Okay, let me scroll up. Let me scroll up here. White fuzzy algae with little black and brown bits in the fuzz. Man, I'd really need to see a picture of it. Am I familiar with orange zebra autocinclus? Yes, I want a few and may order some. I am very familiar. I've kept orange zebra autocincluses before. I would say you're definitely going to want lots of algae in your tank. It'll make things way easier for you. A good cleaner fish for a planted 16-gallon with tetras, brine autocinclus. Or dwarf corridoras. Those would be my cleaner, not real cleaner fish. But Shauna says I could use a vacation too. Yeah, you're telling me. Road trip. You know I'm always game. Well, I mean that's not the same as having like a fish convention though. I meant the news is out now. Oh, the news is out now. Okay. Whatever you guys are talking about, whatever. I have no idea. The gingers are talking about something. I have no idea. With Siamese algae eaters, will you ever see Blackbeard? You will never see Blackbeard algae again. Just know, Siamese algae eaters get a little bit bigger than people realize, and they also like to be in groups. So I try not to recommend, algae eaters because people, or Siamese algae eaters, because people will just buy one and then it'll get too big for them and then they'll take it back, and I don't know. I don't like creating situations where people are like renting fish essentially. But if you have the space in the room, Siamese algae eaters, great for Blackbeard algae. Y'all need a road trip to Knoxville. I'm not driving to Knoxville. No way, Jose. That's way too long. I am way too big to sit in a car for that long. Unless maybe if I bought like a Buick or something, which I do want a Buick because they have a ton of foot space in a Buick. I like turtles. So do I, Curtis. So do I. I like turtles too. Oh man. Bob, I heard enough about your longest member. Oh, come on. PG, where you at? What? You wouldn't approve the other comment, but that? Just the words, my longest member, coming out of your mouth just doesn't seem right. You're a moderator. Come on. Road trip to cop car? Oh man, the cop car needs a bath. I may have taken it out to cruise around, and I may have forgot to put the cover back on, and it may have some issues. It needs a really good deep cleaning now. Everyone says diatoms only happen in new tanks, but mine's been running 1.5 years, and I still get them. What's up with that? Usually that would be like a nitrate issue. and maybe feed less or increase water change. Not sure what your water change schedule is, but overfeeding will definitely give you diatom algae. It's actually very common to overfeed your fish. So our red-footed tortoise is named Yoda. Message retracted. Yes, Kang Lee, that is correct. Brings an excellent point. Flagfish is also awesome at eating BBA. But we should be trying to correct. Like, we don't want the buying fish to rectify your algae problem is like it's just a band-aid, right? You want to figure out why you're getting algae in the first place. And algae is perfectly normal, but a lot of people, don't like it. And you can unknowingly create situations where algae thrives. Like, for instance, blackbeard algae hates high flow. So if you were to put like a power head in your tank and aim it directly at the blackbeard algae, it'll die off. So maybe you don't have enough flow in your aquarium, and blackbeard algae is just able to thrive. I don't know, but it's generally better to figure out the cause of your algae than to get fish to eat it, essentially. I don't know if any of that made sense, but it did to me, so deal with it. I don't know what you're talking about. I see nothing. Moderator, yes. Ladylike, not so much. And I was talking about Jamie, your longest running member. I just got to stop reading your comments. Good Lord. Jeez. Craig, what's going on, buddy? I read excess silicates can cause diatoms. Yes, that as well. And you can get excess silicates in a few different ways, but add me to the Ginger Club. I'm a redhead with a red beard. Oh, so you're not even like halfway. You're not even a part-timer. You're a full-timer. So I ordered 3 of those cute orange zebra autos via your link. Unlike I did last time, the link actually only works for new customers, but I appreciate it nonetheless. Diatom algae is preferable to some other kinds. Neurites will eat it. I have BBA in my peacock and Mbuna tanks, and I'm okay with that. Actually looks pretty good. Yes, so algae that I think look good. Blackbeard algae. I've tried to create blackbeard algae carpets multiple times, and I don't think I'm ever going to try again because, one, that sweet spot is only lasts like a month, where you have a sweet carpet of blackbeard algae, and then it just gets out of control. It gets in your filters. It just gets everywhere, and it creates a huge mess. But it's really cool for like a month. It looks really cool. It's all wavy. What is the Claudophora algae does the same thing, except it's green. Welcome to the Ginger Snaps. You actually have a name now? You guys have a gang? Is that what's happening here? A gang of gingers called the Ginger Snaps? What's your gang color? What's your colors? Do you think Episcrema cockatoides would have issues being outcompeted for food with a small group of Congo tetras and Praecox rainbows? Nope. I mean, obviously, you want to make sure your food is getting down there when you're feeding. But I've had similar combinations to that multiple times. And I think Danny has almost that exact combination in one of her tanks. And, yeah, you just got to make sure the food is getting down there. They're generally not bashful fish either. Cockatoides, so they'll go all the way up to the surface to eat. UPS, you're living the dream. Will you be my Valentine's? I am my dog's Valentine's already, but you're too late. Sorry. We single people don't talk about Valentine's Day on Valentine's Day. So you're fired. You're fired. But thanks for the $5. Will you be my Valentine? Psycho says, yes, I will. Yes, I will. My Blackbeard, my BBS is on plastic plants, heater guard, and spray bar for over 2 years. It's staying under control, question mark. I don't know, is it? Is it? The only issue you're going to find when it comes to Blackbeard algae, like being on the outtake is not a big deal because one, it doesn't grow fast enough, and two, it hates flow. So it might grow over the spray bar, but where it actually comes out, it'll probably never consume that. Maybe eventually there'll be enough. The main concern is the intake. That's what you don't want to get clogged with Blackbeard algae, because it'll gum up your filter, and it's such a mess. I would tell you what I think staghorn algae looks like, but Bob would read it out loud, so I can't. Oh, jeez. World's largest drink bottle? That's not true. I have a 1 gallon. A 1 gallon. This is only a half gallon. I have a 1 gallon as well. Ginger Grumble with the $10 super chat. Buy your dream car fund. My dream car is a 2005 Buick LeSabre. How boring am I? That's me. I'm guessing we're all single since we're here. Well, I know the Zen Ginger is not. Well, maybe, because there used to be a Mr. Ginger that would come around quite often. But actually, you know, I haven't seen him for years. So maybe Zen Ginger is single and he's buried in the basement somewhere. I don't know. Aqua Balls. Hi, Zen Ginger. I posted a pictograma also tonight, but I think I want a pictograma from now on. Wait, I posted also tonight, but I only want. We need a good epistogramma breeder, someone who has like 12 species and is just pumping them out into the hobby. Mulm, good, bad, the ugly, or is it all the above? It's personal preference. I've heard it's good, but when does it become unhealthy? So mulm is basically. I think of mulm as like dirt, except not really dirt, because at least dirt has some minerals in it. It's basically like inert dirt. It's been broken down. There's really nothing left. It's just there. Would it cause a problem? Not necessarily. Can it? Yes. If you have like inches of mulm, it's going to turn into like a bed for bacteria. If it gets too deep, you can start getting bacteria and things like that in there, and it's not going to be healthy. But if you're talking like, oh, in this corner of the tank, there's like like a small little clump of mulm, not a big deal. Should you siphon it out? Probably better than not. But I've like my breeding fish for profit tank. If you go back years ago on my channel, the whole like substrate was mulm. I had plecos in there, guppies, shrimp, just thousands of fish in a 55-gallon tank. But it wasn't a big deal because I was doing huge water changes every other day. So that's another thing you have to consider. How many water changes do you want to do? Like, is it worth the extra water change keeping all the mulm in there? I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. Happily divorced, but of recent I am not single. Someone needs to start a dating site for animal people and call it animallovers.com. That sounds a little weird. That could be taken a few different ways. But I feel like that should be a thing, right? Because you always have the awkward conversation of, I got like 30, 40, 50 fish tanks in my house. And that's usually where you lose them. And if you don't lose them at that point, then you're like, well, also got some reptiles. I have a huge bin of cockroaches. Yep. Got a bin of worms. And that's when they start to trail off. But if they actually like animals, then they would get all that. They would know. They'd be like, oh, that's normal. That's absolutely normal. Mountain Greener, where are all my plants? Yes, you might notice there are way less plants here because they are now in my planted wall, my 40-inch by 40-inch planted wall dealie that I made. If you want to see it, I've been posting updates about that on Instagram, which is just Steenfott Aquatics on Instagram. Send me your epistogramma. I'm sure I could breed them. So yeah, a lot of like the starters and the smaller pots, I repotted them into my plant wall. Yeah, that's creepy. Yeah, I guess that could be taken a few ways, but someone could do it better. My girlfriend and I celebrated Valentine's Day by driving 2 hours to a fish store we never went to, then a lake to look for rocks and driftwood. That sounds like a good day. I don't mention anything besides my dog and cat until at least the third date. I could never get my Incas to breed? Really? Interesting. I've had them breed accidentally. As long as you aren't eating the worms, it shouldn't be a deal breaker. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. Can't afford food when you have 50 fish tanks. You know, there's a reason that we harvest live foods. It's for everyone, not just the fish. No more roaches for me. Really? I love my roaches. I do. They're super clean, they're quiet, and they don't make a mess. So it should be Fender. Fender. I get it. Oh man. Steenfott on Instagram. Yep, there it is. If you click on that link, you will see lots. Well, not lots, but I did post quite a few plant photos over the weekend. I was kind of nerding out on plants. My fish room is full of plants right now. I gotta stop going to the nurseries. I gotta stop. But I'm so addicted. I gotta stop. My partner was already in too deep, so he had no choice when it came to accepting when I got new animals. It rubs the lotion on the skin. It does whenever it's told. I'm single too. Psycho with a $10 super chat. Thank you, my friend. Animals are the coolest thing about people. If someone cannot handle the quantity of animals, well, let's not get carried away here. I mean, I've seen some episodes of Hoarders where people have like 200 cats. Okay, so there is a thing as too many. All right, there's a point when it becomes unhealthy. Then okay, I agree. Then, you know, something needs to be done. But I'm sure everyone in this chat has perfectly healthy addiction to animals, right? Whatever that animal may be. And if you're in this chat, it's probably fish, but I would hope you're addicted to fish if you're in this chat. Otherwise, what are you doing here? This is a weird live stream for you to be in if you're not addicted to fish. just throwing that out there. Do all cichlids dig and rearrange the whole tank? Nope. Which ones won't? Well, angelfish. Angelfish are cichlids. And, you know, they won't. There's so many cichlids. There's so many. Apistos won't. Will they dig? Sure. If you don't have like caves or hides for them to spawn in, then they're gonna dig. But if you do, then they won't dig. I don't know that anything dwarf wise that digs outside of like Lake Tanganyikan, like shell dwellers, are obviously gonna dig. I just put 150 avatar angels in a 120 gallon tank to grow them up. I made pebble trays for all my plants today. I can't use a humidifier in the room. I need to do some of those too. I also need to find just trays in general. I can't believe how expensive they are. I can't believe how expensive pots are. Like, it's so ridiculous. Plant pots. I think I kind of nerd raged about that last week, so I won't talk about it again. I have 17 tanks running. That's actually more than me. Psycho. Psycho, you are so psycho for having 17 tanks. We got into the fish hobby together, and we both went in head first. It's awesome. That's nice. That's the way to do it right there. I've set up 50 tanks in the past 2 years. I'm definitely not addicted. Nope. Doesn't sound like addiction to me. Oh, man. Okay. 50 tanks. I'm trying to think. I don't even know what the most I've had set up is at one time. It wasn't 50, that's for sure. But it was probably like in the 40s when I had both fish rooms going. He's dreaming. I don't even know if you guys can hear that. Someone with multiple cats always make me think of the crazy cat lady on The Simpsons. Cats are really fun. Like, I cannot deny the fact that cats are really fun. I just don't think I could ever own one over a dog. But I do love cats. I play with them all the time at the animal shelter. We get so many kittens in at the animal shelter. Like, I'm always taking... I've got so many pictures of kittens on my phone. You would think that I was a crazy cat lady. Hoarders are ashamed of what they have. Collector is sheer. I mean... If you watch the show Hoarders, most of them aren't even hoarders. They're just lazy. Like, if your house is piled up to your chest in trash, you're not a hoarder. You're just disgusting. I don't... Like, to me, a hoarder is someone who hoards something. Like, we hoard fish. We are hoarders. I'm hoardering. Is that a word? Hoardering houseplants right now. I become a houseplant hoarder. But the show Hoarders, like, almost every single one they walk into, and it's just trash everywhere. Just trash. You're not hoarding. You're just lazy. You're just a bad human being. I don't know. Why over a dog? Why not both? I can see situations where I have both. But I'm always gonna be like more of a dog person than a cat person. But I do love cats. Like, I make fun of them all the time. I give Lisa a hard time. But there's a wild cat here that I've befriended, and yeah. So I'm always gonna be a dog person. So far, my albino threadfin Akara are my worst diggers. They like to rearrange everything. Really? That's actually interesting. I've not had that experience with them. Tristan Aquatic breeds the heck out of dwarf cichlids in Wisconsin and imports them from Czech. I do forget about Tristan a lot. If you're into Apistos, you should look up Tristan Aquatics. He breeds some really good stuff. The guy that goes around looking through junk piles for old signs and stuff, those are hoarders. And they are proud of collections. I think if it's a collection, it's okay. Obviously, there can be unhealthy addictions. I mean, when it comes to collections, but like going through trash. I mean, there's dumpster divers, and they get all kinds of collectibles out of dumpsters. I don't know. I'm not gonna judge those people. It's just the people that are. It's a sickness, Bob. It's not lazy. The doctors say. And it could be like, but it starts somewhere, right? Like, if I have a bag full of trash, I'm going to take it out. I'm not going to start a new bag of trash right next to it, and so on, and so on, and so on. I used to live with someone that was like this. I know it's very frustrating. Just take it out. Don't live in it. Take it out. I'm allergic to cats, but I own 2. Hearing you saying I have a wild cat I play with makes me picture you playing with a bobcat. I wish. I'm definitely the guy that would bring home like an abandoned bobcat or something, and we would be best buds. I would even do a cougar until I got to an unmanageable size, and then I would probably turn it over. There's a wildlife center here that takes in stuff like that. Obviously, I mean, we live in the mountains. There's lots of wild animals, so there is a place to take them at least. I have 5 cats now. I wish I had one like before. I just feel like cats are always getting into trouble, which is why, I don't know. I'm probably unfair, and I'm probably just like, it's probably just an unfair bias, but I feel like they puke a lot. They're always getting and stuff. Like, cats cop an attitude a lot. I had a friend who, anytime she would go out and bring like someone over, and like say like I would go over there and ignore the cat, like the cat would always poop on the front door, on the like right there on the porch. Anytime like my friend brought someone over, if the cat wasn't getting all the attention, it pooped on the front porch. On the inside, what would that be, like the foyer, I guess? I don't know. They just cop attitudes, man. I'm not about it. Dogs are just stupid and happy all the time. Cats actually get angry. Lynx, those are just gorgeous. We have tons of in the spring here. You can go up any old like logging gravel road, and there's just bobcats just laying out, sunning themselves all over the place. It's really cool. I want a capybara. Yeah, those are pretty awesome. They apparently make excellent pets. That is true. Can't be any harder than my black throat. Yeah, Cappy. I would name it. I would name it Cappy too. Capybara. They're pretty neat, and they just look different. I don't know. Ginger with the $5 super chat says, "Please hit the like button." Yes, please hit the like button. Dan says, "Thanks for the response. A Pisto currently acclimating in his new home. I want Corey's van. See, I want that, but it definitely has its limitations. That van was not made for camping. Those vans are made for retired people to drive to Yellowstone and stop at like a KOA and stay overnight, at like a state park. Not really meant for like real camping. Not to be that guy, the real camping, but yeah. I would definitely want one of those vans. Don't get me wrong, I'm jealous, but I would use it for road trips, not for camping. We aren't hoarders, we are collectors. Yes, collectors. My corgi bit me through my leather jacket and sweatshirt and drew blood. I mean, I've definitely had my dogs draw blood before, but it's all in good fun. Like, we're wrestling, and they're like 100+ pounds. Of course someone's going to draw blood every once in a while. How can you reduce flow on a hang-on back filters? I'm trying to grow floating plants, and the flow is too strong. On the outtake, you can put, like, sponges. Like, if you just go to, like, a dollar store and go to the cleaning section and buy, like, even sponges, like, used to clean dishes, just make sure there's no, like, antibacterial or fungal stuff like that. You could do like batting on the outflow. You could do batting on the intake as well. It'll reduce the flow. So there's a few things there for you that you could do. It's a road trip van, not a camper. That's exactly right. Nothing wrong with a toilet and a shower in a building nearby. I tell you what, yes there is. You see some of these public toilets and showers out in these campsites, these state parks. No, thank you. I'd rather stink and poop in my 5-gallon bucket than spend 1 second in those bathrooms. I'm telling you, they are disgusting. Disgusting. With a capital D. Oh, man. To help with floating plants, want to hang them back on the back. Wait. To help with floating plants and a hang on the back, I would raise the water to make the flow more straight out versus down into the water. Our current house cat showed up at the patio door 2 years ago, walked in like she's always lived here. Of course, she gave birth to 4 kittens 2 weeks later. I think she had some inside info on me. Oh, that's funny. Oh man. I'm gonna have my serval one day. That's like my life goal. So I will own a cat someday, and it will be a serval. Wait, I already said when I'm at 1 million subscribers, I'm getting a serval. So maybe I won't ever have one. But if I ever hit that 1 million mark, my reward will be a serval. And it's not gonna be one of these indoor servals that are like super depressed and just treated like an indoor house cat. It's gonna have a big, massive outdoor pen. I'm talking like 80 feet by 40 feet by like 30 feet tall, so it can run and jump around, and it's gonna be awesome. Did you ask him how many miles are on the van? How many miles? I don't know, but knowing Corey, it's low miles. He would never buy anything with a lot of miles. Every time I buy a car and I tell him how many miles, he's like, whoa, 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 hey, whoa. So yeah, it's got to be low miles. I want a lynx. Lynxes are cool as well. We keep taking cats in to get them fixed, and they just never leave. We've got one more kitten outside. Say hello to house cat number 7. Holy smokes. I want a lion or a jaguar. I'll buy you one if you be my Valentine. Deal. I don't think you know how expensive servals are, but deal. It's a lot more than that $5 super chat, which I appreciate. I'm just saying, I don't think you understand how expensive servals are. Once when I was on vacation, I got a call that my cat had broken the glass top of my 20 long. He even poked himself in the glass with the underside of his jaw, poked himself with the glass. I'm glad he had not bled too much. Boy. See, and that's the thing. Like, cats are just always getting in trouble. They're just always up to their mischief, like, meter is always maxed out. Always. Have you seen the dude with the black leopard and the Rottweiler? Yes. Yes. I think it's a couple, not that it matters, but it's amazing how much stronger the Rottweiler is than the full-grown leopard. It's amazing. But yes, I pretty sure I follow them on Instagram. I might be wrong, but I always see their content, so I got to be following them. And it blows my mind every time. Lisa, I stopped asking my husband, but this one curls up around his legs when he walks out of his truck, and he's got him. That's like when I go to Danny's house. If I leave my windows down, I'm coming home with at least 2 cats. There's so many cats over there. Every time I'm over there, there's at least 2 more cats, and there's always one pregnant. Always. And she gets them fixed. I don't know where they come from. They're just always more there, and they jump in my car, and I always have to check before I drive off to make sure I'm not bringing cats home. They're just everywhere. How long is a good time to put your female back to breed in with your male Epistogramma? 1 month, 2 months, or longer? You go by body weight, so you want to fatten them up if you want to breed them. So whether you can fatten them up in a month or 2 months, I mean, I would give them a break. So, like, if she's dropping eggs or giving live birth, and then like the next day you plump her up and then throw her back in there, and that's not good. But go by weight. Pay attention to body size and the stomach. If she has like a sunken belly, like she's starving, don't put her back with the male. Make sure she's nice, big, and fat. How can I grow my Julidochromis quick so that I can breed them? Andrew, the same way you grow all fish fast. Now, fast is going to be pretty relative depending on the species. But to grow a fish fast, it's lots of food and lots of water changes. You can't do one or the other. It has to be both. The good news for you, though, is that African cichlids generally grow pretty quick. But yeah, feed them 3-4 times a day, do daily water changes, and you'll be amazed how fast you can grow your fish out. Probably not something I would recommend, but there's a lot of people, like, that's how a lot of breeders do it. Daily or every other day water changes and feeding them 3-4 times a day. Cats know when they found a good thing. They're my dream cat, and I like that they sort of look like Ron Perlman. I missed what cat. Are you talking about the Maine Coon? Feed and water changes. Yep. Like I said, you can't do one without the other. Obviously, doing water changes is not going to do anything. And if you feed a lot without doing the water changes, you're going to create an unhealthy environment, and you're going to stunt their growth or possibly kill them. So you have to do both. If you're power feeding, you have to do your water changes. Well, I live here with Fry about 2 months, and then I put her back to breed. Yeah, I mean, 2 months, you're probably definitely okay. I don't think I would wait 2 months. When my lab was 10 years old, she adopted a kitten. 6 years later, she passed, and I've been stuck with the kitten. And he bets up the dog. Wait, what? 10 years old, she adopted a kitten. 6 years later, she passed. Yes, Maine Coon. Hey, Bob. Sorry I'm late. How are you? How are you, Lot? I am Lot. BJ Palmer. Billie Jean, how you doing? Billie Jean. That's one thing I worry about with my dogs. Like, I have 3 dogs. They're obviously bonded. They're all roughly the same age, within a few years of each other. But like, I feel bad for them when one of them goes. Like, they're gonna be so sad. Um, I'm doing well, BJ Palmer. I'm doing well. Hope you are too. What are your thoughts on frozen bloodworms? I have no issues with them at all. I know a lot of people, not a lot, but there's definitely a group of people out there that hate frozen bloodworms and think they're going to get all kinds of pathogens. And then there's people that tell you have to thaw them and rinse them out. I've always just taken them right out of the packet and thrown them in my tank. Have I had problems? Maybe. There's no way to know. I don't know if that's what caused ick that time or whatever, but I'm not too worried about it. Take them right out of the pack and throw them right in. And I do that with all my frozen food. That'd be my reason not to get that breed. I don't want to wake up to that ugly mug every morning. Setting up a 50-gallon lowboy multi-tank, KHGH low out the tap, so I thought dolomite. Can't find any other options. Honestly, I would just put aragonite in there and not even worry about it. Or actually, what I would do is I would buy like Carib Sea sand that was made for saltwater tanks. That stuff that like pH balances it at like 8.2. And that's all I would do. Oh, he beats up other dogs. Psycho says my datnoid only eats frozen bloodworms. Okay, I gotta reread this comment. When my lab was 10 years old, she adopted a kitten. 6 years later, she passed, and I've been stuck with the kitten, and he beats up dogs. So the cat beats up dogs? If you had to eat a type of fish food, what will it be? Well, I ate fluval bug bites on a live stream once. I think I've eaten fish food on a live stream a couple times now. But if I've done it with dog food too, and I chose bacon strips, thinking that it would be close to beef jerky, but it definitely tasted like dog food and not beef jerky. But all fish food to me has so far pretty much tasted the same. So if there was like some contest or something, I would be like, pick it. It doesn't even matter. I would never do like frozen or live because that's disgusting. But like any prepared food, sure. Any experience with Vitachem or similar food? I use Vitachem every once in a while for my puffers. But that's it. Like I would soak the clams in Vitachem. But I've never really used it. I'm sure it's good to give to your fish every once in a while, right? I mean, vitamins and minerals are good for all of us. The main thing I don't like about bloodworms is the low nutritional value. I mean, it is decent protein. It's not my go-to, but I will go with bloodworms if I can't find blackworms to get like corridors to spawn. They're fatty, and there's some decent amount of protein. I've never seen you eat any weird stuff. Do it now, please. Well, that's not gonna work. Now I'm not gonna do it out of spite. You must not have been. You haven't been around long enough to know that I only make decisions and do things out of spite. That's it. So if you tell me to do something, I'm not gonna do it out of spite. If you would have said, "Don't eat fish food," I would have went and grabbed some fish food right now and eaten it out of spite. But you went the wrong way with it, so. Now you must eat canned bread. Canned bread? Is that a thing? Our dogs go nuts over fish food. Oh, it's the worst. I hate when my dogs get into my fish food. One, because fish food is getting pretty expensive. And two, it always gives them the worst gas. Now you can eat canned bread. I could go for some cornbread. But canned bread? Canned bread? I don't know. I don't know about that. Wait, where is this comment on? Ginger stir fry guy, low nutritional value. That's like most of the flake and pellets are very low nutritional value as well. So let's be real. Have you ever fed your fish red worms? Red wigglers. I have a colony of red wigglers. I have actually a video on my channel. So, and yes, I do. I think red wigglers are great fish food. I crashed my colony, so I don't have very many. I'm hoping that they will recover. I let it dry out way too much. I just got caught up in other stuff. And so I did crash the colony, but I'm hoping they recover. There's still a few that are alive. So it only takes one. It only takes one worm. People have been keeping cheetahs for thousands of years. Used to be a dude who walked his cheetahs on a leash in New York City in the 60s. I think if I was to attempt keeping a big cat, which one would I keep? Probably a jaguar. I mean, a cheetah seems smart, but I don't know. Or like a snow leopard, maybe. There's a guy I was watching the other day that keeps lions, and it's pretty crazy to see them interact. I don't think I would ever do lions. Like, not that it matters. Any big cat is gonna kill me if it wants to, but I don't know. Lions might be a bit too much. I feel like cheetah, as long as I can keep a cheetah off my throat, they're not the strongest cat out there. So at least I feel like I'd have a chance fighting off a cheetah. I don't know. Whoops, fat fingered that. Didn't mean to time out anyone. Who do you time out? Alice? Oh, you timed out Alice. Alice, I apologize. Curtis apologizes. He fat fingered and timed you out. Mistake. Hopefully you don't take it personal. That was a mistake. I'll eat some strange stuff, but I'll pass on the canned bread. Oh, canned bread. So this is a real thing? Now I gotta Google it. Canned bread. Let's go to image. Oh, this looks like dog food. This looks like canned dog food. What is this? This is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen today. It looks like a big turd. Like no, I'm not gonna eat that. Cheetahs are supposed to be very dog-like. Has your tank ever felt stale or overgrown? The stem plants in the front and back of the tank. Some of the plants died, maybe gaps, but I'm afraid to trim them. Cut the stems, turn brown, get algae. So one thing, you may just have, it may be something simple like not enough light. If your tanks get overgrown, then your stem plants are usually the first to suffer. And it's like here's your substrate. You go like 6-8 inches up, and it's all like bare, just nasty looking stem plants. It's because there's not enough light penetrating down for them to like grow leaves and stuff. So it may just be something simple like that. Especially like if you have a 40-gallon breeder that's really wide and you have like one light in the middle. Unless that's like a fluval, it's not going to have a very wide spectrum. Like a Planet Plus is one of the few lights that I've seen that actually has a wide enough spectrum and enough power to actually, penetrate. But yeah, that's usually why on my 40 breeders I always run at least 2 strips, just because they are really wide. But that could be your issue, something simple like that. Need some for your next camping trip? No thanks. I'm good. There's a tendency of getting ick if you feed too much bloodworms and you're not doing enough water changes. So I don't recommend to people that don't do constant water changes. I would be interested in seeing some research on that, because there's definitely fish out there that only eat bloodworms, but I'm sure those people are doing water changes. So I'd go with a cheetah. We'd have had breeding pair of snow leopards at our zoo for about 25 years. Part of the captive breeding endangered species program. So many cubs have been born here. What zoo? Where are you? You have a zoo? Okay, I'm coming to your zoo. Quote of the day: "This is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen today." Hey, well, it's true. Off with his head. Mealworms, waxworms, superworms are all I can find near me. Any benefit to feeding these? I would not feed those to fish. Definitely not superworms. Definitely not mealworms. Mealworms are like a lot of arowana people feed mealworms. I don't know. I feel like anything with like a harder outer shell would be tough for the fish to digest. I feel like. I mean, I don't know. It just seems like it would be. Do I have any ADFs? What's an ADF? I'm not familiar with that acronym. ADF. It's probably something I know too. Like, oh, duh. ADF. Canned brown bread is actually quite good. Warm it up and put it on some butter. You'd be surprised. I'm with Case too. I'm going to take your word for it. What's the best wet pet? A mermaid. PetSmart is the worst. They canceled an order for pickup saying it was out of stock. I went into the store and saw the items for sale on the shelves. PetSmart is literally the worst, and I will never buy anything from PetSmart ever again. Or Chewy. Owned by the same company. I will never. Woot into hour number 3. Unfortunately, I have to go. I went a little bit longer because I was a little bit late, but it is just about time to take the dogs out and get me some dinner. I'm gonna go till like a quarter after, so 5 more minutes, I guess. We'll do a countdown. I feed mealworms to my bird feeders. I never thought about trying them on fish. So there's a lot like reptiles won't even like only what is it, like bearded dragons or like no, it's not mealworms. What's the one I'm thinking of? Now I'm confused. I'm not even gonna go there. Mealworms are beetle grubs, not true worms. African dwarf frogs, yes. African dwarf frogs. Definitely only a lot of people only feeding bloodworms too, but they won't get ick either. Night Ginger Grumble. Chewy is evil. Yep, so is PetSmart. So no, I'm not even gonna get into it. I'm not gonna get into why, but no more PetSmart, no more Chewy. I still buy for stuff from them because they stay open the latest in my area, but not livestock for sure. Savannah cats are popular. They act more like dogs. I've seen videos of them doing tricks for treats. I find that they, well, they're more like servals because they're from servals, but yeah, Savannah cats are pretty cool. I'd still rather have a serval though. There's just something about walking a cat that's like 3.5 feet tall, and big. Like, my arrows and African cichlids like superworms. I think ADF is African dwarf frogs. Oh, yeah. African dwarf frogs. That makes a lot of sense. And, Chris, you did actually say African dwarf frogs, and I missed your comment because of the super chat. So, thanks, Ginger, for the $5, but you're making me miss people's chats. It's your fault. Just kidding. Bob, it's a tiny little mountaintop zoo, Mill Mountain Zoo, Roanoke, Virginia. We have multiple species being bred here. Red wolves, ooh, red panda, oh, now I'm definitely coming. Snow leopard, formerly bred golden lion. How have you never told me about this? I am definitely coming to Virginia. I can crash at John's house. No, PetSmart or Petco is the same. Well, at least Petco is not funding legislation to outlaw the import of fish and exotic animals, whereas PetSmart and Chewy is owned by the company that is. So Petco is better in my book. Sadly, I have no LFS, so PetSmart is the only option. Yeah, that's rough. Yeah, that sounds awesome, BJ. I know. That's what I'm saying. Wait. I gotta Google this zoo now. Little Mountaintop Zoo. Mill Mountain Zoo. Okay. Mill Mountain Zoo. Is it so little, though, that you don't even have a website? Hopefully you do, because I'm about to Google it. Get this canned bread off my browser. Disgusting. mmzoo.org. The Roanoke Star. Hey, go. My internet's still really slow. Plan your visit. Minding your zoo manners. Wait, experiences. Okay, what kind of experiences do we have here? Night howls. Film spring fling. Is that for humans or animals? Can I swim with the bears? Like, I still need to do that. Go hog wild. Okay, I want to see... Oh, zoo animals. Here we go. Ooh, I see reptiles. Prehensile-tailed skinks. Some tortoises. Some turtles. Chinese water... That's kind of a weird thing for a zoo to have. Chinese water dragon. Okay. The crested porcupine. That's pretty sweet. Eurasian lynx. Fishing cat. I don't know what a fishing cat is, but that looks pretty sweet. Never even heard of a fishing cat. Red wolf is so awesome. Red wolf and red pandas. And you have clawed otters. Oh yeah, and snow leopards. Yeah, I'm definitely coming to visit. If I came, could I get like behind the scenes tours? Is that possible? Like, can I actually go and play with these animals? Do I need a heater for my 90-gallon Kenny? I ordered a 300-watt Eheim heater from Chewy one time, and they sent me a box of 6 on accident, and I was only charged for the single heater. I had a similar experience with Amazon. And what was it? It was a 40. Let me just look. Let me look. It's crazy. Crazy. I think it was Benadryl. I literally have so many. I need to find someone who builds meth and sell them. I've got so much. It's ridiculous. Okay, so I ordered a 48 count of Benadryl, and they sent me 48 packs of Benadryl. I have enough Benadryl to last multiple lifetimes. 48 packs. I don't know what they were thinking. There's a miniature train to ride. What? This just keeps getting better. John and Lisa are about 3.5 hours away, so I can even make them drive me there. I'm going to order heavy gravel for pickup and then cancel the order after I get the email that says it's ready for pickup. How to spite. Perfect. Perfect. The train is a hoot. I'm still, I don't know. Can I get like behind the scenes? Yes. Play with it. Not even like the pandas. Like I can't hold a panda. What if I sign like a waiver? Play your YouTube card and I bet you'll get special treatment. I want special treatment because... Not because I'm a YouTuber. I don't know why I want special treatment. Haven't you ever just wanted like behind the scenes and like see all the stuff that goes on in a zoo? Like... that you don't get to see, that the general public doesn't get to see. Post them for sale on eBay, Bob? Interesting. I feel like I'd get some of the 3-letter agencies coming after me. Why do you have a truckload of Benadryl? All right. Yep, I do got to go now. I'm hungry and the dogs need to go out. What's the benefit of PetSmart to promote the bill? Because it would pretty much put out of business every ma and pa store out there, because it's limiting it to fish that get imported in large numbers. We don't know what that number is, but we know that PetSmart is Chewy and it's Central Pet, and I'm sure they're importing their fish. But the only places where PetSmart and Petco don't excel are in fish and the aquatic, right? Like, they're making tons of money in dog and cat, but they're not making tons of money on fish, on reptiles, and on birds. So that's why you see fish, reptile, and birds on the bill, because they're being outsold by mom and pop stores, and that's true. Like, it's true. Like, I can factually back that up. So if they can get them to go out of business, then you're stuck buying 5 different species of tetras and anoles for the rest of your life. But anyways, I will catch you all later. Well, not later, next week. I hope you all have a great week. Thanks everyone for hanging out. It was a lot of fun. And thanks to all the super chatters, of course, the mods, the